Do you think that crypto assets need a different approach when it comes to their management by investment institutions, or are they basically just another asset that you can fold into the other services that are offered?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be on. It's good to be talking with you, so thank you very much. You know, I think that the crypto and the digital markets are really showing the way in terms of many of the innovations that can be brought to the overall market. But, you know, it's a market that's early in its development. And so, you know, there are a lot of things that I think will continue to develop in that area in you know, areas of regulation, you know, a lot of the different, you know, ways that the business is conducted. But I think it's a healthy market, and it's one that I think will continue to develop in a positive way. So, you know, I think things will change over time. But again, in many ways, it's sort of leading the way in terms of, you know, digital, you know, blockchain finance. And a lot of lessons can be learned from that in the more legacy financial services areas.
I don't want to drag you too far down memory lane, but when you and I used to meet up to do interviews in Zurich when you were at Credit Suisse, obviously we were very focused on where fintech would take us next. The irony now, Credit Suisse is bailing out of its own prime broking business because of the costs and the risks associated. What do you think these shifts tell us about the opportunity for a business like Exos, and where the next stage of banking really needs to go with a fintech operation like your own?
Well, I think, you know, our view is that clearly we've seen over the past, you know, 20 years, industry after industry being transformed by technology. And, you know, in many cases, you know, the previous leaders in those industries had to turn over the reins to brand new companies that didn't even exist when the transformation started. We think we've seen some of that in the financial services area and some parts of the business, like retail, for instance. There are a number of retail challenger banks, but it's still very early innings in terms of the transformation within financial services. And in particular, we believe that the institutional market, which is where Exos is focused, is where some of the biggest opportunities are. And the other thing is you see a lot of verticals that are being developed with great technology, great fintechs in rather narrow areas. Our view is that when you look at the Amazons and the Alibabas, the way that they dominate is by having a platform technology that is very broad and is able to bring their technology to customers across that platform. And that's what we aim to do at Exos. So, you know, think about Morgan Stanley, but on an Alibaba type technology platform. We think that has tremendous power, and it's something that, you know, will ultimately transform the way business is done, and will, you know, ultimately create, you know, huge amount of, you know, of value in the market for clients and for shareholders as well.
Brady, good morning to you. We're not differentiating, though, enough for my liking on what's going on in the crypto world and what is going on in your speciality, which is, as you say, creating broader platforms for fintech as well. Don't we need to be very careful about delineating between the two? Because one is having this extraordinary debate at the moment about its worth, about its regulation. The other is going to be an essential part of financial architecture going forward.
Well, I guess the way I look at it is I think digitalization is something that will come to all parts of the financial services industry. Obviously, the legacy businesses are digitalizing much more slowly, whereas crypto, those markets have obviously started sort of with a blank slate, and there are huge advantages to that. For instance, that's the way we built Exos. We basically built our technology from scratch. That's a huge advantage to have. But the concept of digitalization, blockchain, making markets more efficient, using data analytics in order to serve customers better, to make the business more profitable, to use less capital, is an extremely powerful concept, and that will actually come across all of financial services. It's only a matter of time.